Hello and welcome to Hops and Drops TV. We are here for another list review for our upcoming game. My name is Karl and today I am going to bring Nighthaunt. The battle formation I'm playing is Death Stalkers, of course. Who doesn't want run in charge and retreat in charge on your entire army? It's pretty good, not gonna lie. I have 3 regiments with me. Today, my general's regiment is Olinder. Gonna rock Olinder this time. She's followed along an executioner and 3 spirit hosts. And then my second regiment is going to be Allrack, because he's really good at teleporting everywhere on the table, bringing a unit with him outside of 7, which is absolutely nuts, especially if you have 20 block of Revenants and they can just charge from 7, which hopefully should go off at least. He's bringing 2 units of 5 Hex Rays. They're really good. They did go down 1 control score, which is 100% fair. They will still probably go up in points, I'm expecting, but they're really good for now at least. He's also joined by 1 unit of Dreadblade Horrors that can teleport as well across the table. Very mobile army, for sure. And then my last regiment is actually the Cruel Guest. I'm not really sure about him. If you watched our previous games, I was playing the Stonehorn, and he has this ability where he ignores the first wound in each phase. And the Cruel Guest is essentially the same thing, but it just gives it to the entire army, whole within 12. Not sure the impact, but I'm hoping it's going to be good. We'll see. He's joined by 2 units of 10 Bladegeist Revenants and a big block of 20 Bladegeist Revenants. And then I am taking the Manifestation Lore Primal Energy to have the Gnashing Jaws and some healing, hopefully. And the Spell Lore is, of course, my own Nighthaunt one. And the artifacts and heroic traits that I have Ruler of the Spectral Host on my Executioner, actually, because he's a bit tanky. He's also going to hug the Spirit Hosts. He's also in my regiment, General's Regiment, for the -1 attack, which will most likely I will choose every game. So hopefully he's really tanky, because he has the artifact to bring a whole half a unit back. For 1 CP, so I don't want to lose that one to shooting or some other minor combat. And then I have the Cruel Guest. He is rocking the Light Shard of the Harvest Moon, because he wants to keep everyone wholly within 12, and then he also has the artifact once per battle to give everything an extra attack in the combat phase. So hopefully, I want him wholly within 12, and that one is wholly within 12, so should work out nicely there. He's also decent in combat, and I also want to charge him all the time to give that fantastic strike last ability that we can do. I have played Nighthaunt a few times since the edition launched, and they are really strong. It's insane to have an army this mobile. Run and charge is incredibly good. From the last edition, if you played Nighthaunt, we had retreat and charge, but the thing that we were lacking was run and charge, which has, it's really good. Can take 14 inches across the table and then make a charge. The Hex Rays can even go 18 inches. So, it's going to be good. And I am going up against my friend Tom, who will tell you about his list.
Hey everyone, I'm Tom, and today I'm going to be bringing the Tzeentch. I am playing the Arcanite Cabal battle formation, which means that the Arcanite wizards that I have in my list, I have 3 of those, will have +1 to unbind. And it also means that if one of them manages to unbind a spell, I can use the magical intervention command ability without spending a command point, which helps a lot with command point economy. I have 4 regiments today. One of them is a Demon Regiment, and the other 3 are Tzaangor Regiment, so I'm trying a bit of a mixed list today. So kicking off with the General's Regiment, I have a Lord of Change here. He's my general, and he has my artifact and heroic trait. I have a unit of 6 Flamers, and I have 2 units of 10 blue horrors. And then finally in his regiment, I have a Chaos Spawn for use with the spell lore. Then I have 2 regiments which are just Tzaangor Shamans. There's no need in bringing auxiliary if you've still got the space to put heroes alone in their own regiment. You don't want to be giving your opponent that extra command point. So I just have them as basically my first drops. As I have a lot of drops in this list, I can put those down initially, and then effectively my opponent will have deployed their whole army, and then after I've seen that, I can start deploying everything else. My final regiment is also a Tzaangor Shaman, and with him I have 2 units of 20 Tzaangor. I've been having a lot of success with the Tzaangor. I think they're really quite good. I think they're going to be great into Nighthaunt in this game. The Tzaangor Shamans can chip at the end of every turn D3 mortals and then bring D3 on a 2+ Tzaangors back to a unit as well. So if Karl manages to get into me and doesn't wipe a unit of Tzaangors in one turn, then it can be quite punishing for him, because then I'll start doing a lot of mortal damage to him and bringing those Tzaangors back. In addition to that, the Lord of Change can bring back the demon units as well by spending that destiny dice. So I have quite a lot of recursion in this list. Just on the table, it's around 130 wounds. And then in addition to that, with the demon recursion and the Tzaangors, I can get a lot of wounds back as well. So it's pretty sturdy. I have the Morbid Conjuration, Manifestation Lore with me today. That extra rend on the Tzaangors is fantastic from the Purple Sun. And then also the others is just utility, really. You can screen out with them. I have the ability with 4 spellcasts in my list to get the Maelstrom loaded up and doing D6 mortals to hopefully Karl's whole army. We'll see if that manages to work. And then the Gravetide is also just a great spell as well. And then I have the Law of Change with me today as well. That allows me to teleport a unit anywhere on the table. It also allows me to summon that Chaos Spawn in Karl's lines. Won't be that effective into Nighthaunt either, as the Chaos Spawn puts the Nighthaunt models into combat, but Karl's playing the faction that allows him to retreat and charge. They can also charge in combat, so it won't be that impactful. But we like to play lists that can be taken to any kind of event, be played against any kind of opponent. We don't like to list tailor at all. So against every other army, that Chaos Spawn can come in clutch, forcing your opponent to retreat with their whole army in their turn, and then not being able to charge with anything can be really beneficial. And then the last spell in that lore is the Unlimited spell, and because I have 4 wizards, it lets me cast it 4 times, and that just does D3 mortal wounds at 18 inches. So great for picking off those little heroes, little support heroes, or just putting a load of damage into a single unit. Finally, I have my heroic trait and artifact, as I mentioned, on the Lord of Change. My heroic trait is Illusionist, so the Lord of Change will always be -2 to hit in combat. He'll be -1 to hit in shooting, and then any of my units that are wholly within 3 of him are also -1 to hit against everything. The demon units, if they're wholly within 3, so for example the Flamers, will also be -2 to hit against combat. So they're a nice little screen there as well to the Lord of Change. And my artifact on him is the Nighthaunt Tome, which gives him +1 to cast, always, which I think is just a really nice addition to have. It's between that and the artifact that allows him to set units to burning when he does combat damage. But because I'm playing this sub-faction, or this battle formation, and not the Weird Flame Host, which gives you the -1 to be wounded, burning isn't as impactful in this list. It'll do some nice chip damage, but I'm not too worried if my opponent doesn't have burning on them. So I think that about rounds out the list for the Tzeentch. Hopefully you're looking forward to our battle report upcoming, and we'll see you there.